Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Well, the Thunderdome in Orlando, Florida has calmed down. Now Johnny's Dome is on fire, baby. It's Friday night, it's 10 p.m. Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays is up next. Wrestling fans, our 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive is kicking off with an early, unexpected bang as recent WWE NXT Cruiserweight Champion Lio Rush will be joining us live Thursday, November the 5th, here at MWF Studios in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, the zip code of champion 02176. A lot has been said about Lio while he was with WWE. A lot has been said about Lio since he was released by WWE during the coronavirus outbreak in April. We'll be taping a special Wrestling Insider Rush Hour miniseries to let Lio tell his story his way. At 8 p.m. that night, we'll be going live around the corner and around the world for a special cyber autograph signing where you can get a personalized autograph photo from Lio sent directly to your home. For complete information, visit bostonwrestling.com.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
I have a love for this business, and maybe that's why I'm still here. A lot of guys lose that. I have never lost it. I've never had, people see me do some crazy things on television that you would think would make you hate the business. I never hated it. I've always loved it. It's all, like I said about my wife, it's always been my second wife, and she knew that and accepted it and was always behind me. And it takes a good woman. Me and my wife were married 30 years in this business. And we're jumping ahead a little bit, but my wife passed away 2 years ago. She passed away on January 31st, 2009 with breast cancer. She survived 2 bouts with breast cancer, and it came back again and just ravaged her and took her from me 2 years ago. But my wife was with me. Her name was Diana, but she was always there. Always there. Always supported me. I mean, she was close as a telephone, but God, in those days, we didn't have cell phones and pagers and stuff like that. We'd have to go down the highway and look for a payphone, And now, my latest run with WWE was really my first experience with having a GPS on the road. GPS, but we never had any problem finding the buildings. You'd go into a little town, and then you'd pull in the 7-Eleven. Where's wrestling? Everybody knew where wrestling was going to be. If there wasn't posters or up or anything, it was just so different now. It was easy to find the buildings and everything. But the last 6 months run that I had with Vince and company, I got hooked on the GPS where you just punched in the address and turn right, next left, and you were there. Things changed. But back to what I was talking about just a minute ago, and I want to say this, and I'm very, 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 very serious, and I know you can tell when I'm serious when I'm joking around. You ladies out there, cancer is a horrible, horrible beast. Oliver Humperdinck, who I dedicated this shoot video to, who passed away this morning, died of kidney cancer. Cancer is just a horrible thing. And to have to sit by and watch the mother of your children, the grandmother of your grandchildren, the lady that's been your rock for 30 years, just wither away and die from this beast just taking her away from you. Go have your mammograms. Don't put it off. Go have your colonoscopies. Do what your doctor tells you to do, because it can happen to anybody. I'm proof of it right here. It can happen to anybody. And you men out there, if your ladies, your either your wives or your girlfriends, if they're putting it off and don't want to do it, make them go. The worst thing in the world is to take the woman that you were with for 30 years and lower her into the ground and bury her. It's been 2 years now, and I still have my moments because, like I said, she was always there. And I still find myself every once in a while, something happening that's really exciting or something, I want to reach for the phone and call her. She's not there. So ladies, have your breast examinations. Have your pap smears. And guys, do what you're supposed to do. Take care of yourself. Because that cancer, if you don't catch it early, you're out of luck.
All right, Johnny, different intro to the episode this week. We heard from an old friend, one we miss very dearly, this gentleman right here, a man that's getting his own WWE Network documentary on Sunday, November the 8th, the one and only Paul Bearer, talking about something very near and dear to his heart, an interview that he did with you and I back in 2011, which is breast cancer and Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
You know, William Moody / Paul Bearer, wonderful, wonderful human being. He held that very dear to his heart. And that breast cancer that we just played, that interview, that segment, I think says an awful lot about the person, an awful lot about a disease that we need to help eradicate.
Absolutely. If you have lovely ladies in your life, have them get checked out. It's awfully important. What I guess we'll call him Paul here went through with his wife when she suffered from it. I'm not really sure how many times, but it was multiple times. And he went through his entire life savings, $400,000 to try and save her life. And she still passed away, I believe, in 2009, a couple of years before him. And it was a sad couple of lonely years for the man before, you know, his time came in 2013 to go to that empty house and not see the wife in the reclining chair that he was so used to. And, you know, if it's preventable, if it's something you can catch early, it's a great thing.
And my message to the young women, older women out there, I have a friend in the medical field, and he says that part of the reason breast cancer is increasing is because women will not go for their mammograms. Please, 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 get there, schedule it, get it done. It can be cured. It can be dealt with. It doesn't have to end in disaster. Please, I'm begging you. I know my buddy Bill Moody, Paul Bearer, would say the exact same words. Please get that mammogram yearly. Make sure you make that appointment. Let's prevent it. And ultimately, ladies, let's destroy it.
There you go. So hopefully someday, not to paraphrase it, but when a cure is found, they can go in for the mammogram and they can say, you can't see me.
Amen.
How
like that.
You like that?
You can't see me. I like that. That's good. And I'm sure he would approve of that.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
Well, back to the world of professional wrestling. Paul Bearer, it's going to be his time of year as we get ready for the 9th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive, the Cyber Fan Fest we're working on to try and come up with some unique ideas where we can't have a live wrestling event this year. But, Johnny, we got an email from a DB. They wanted your thoughts on some of the activities in the world of professional wrestling right now. One that blew my mind on what I thought was a pretty stellar pay-per-view. WWE had Drew McIntyre lose the Universal Championship to, the WWE Championship to Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell.
I was going to correct you there,
well,
but that's all right.
Thank you. Your thoughts on this, Johnny? Because I have some strong thoughts on it, but they really wanted your input, not mine.
That's my input.
What was...
You heard it?
You have no input.
Drew McIntyre, first of all, I think was a very formidable opponent. Carried the belt well. Well done. What else can I say? I think it's like anything else. To have Orton capture that again.
14th World Championship. He's chasing the fruit of your loins.
How many championships is for Orton?
14.
14. Maybe he'll be the one to break Ric Flair's record.
I doubt it. But
you never know. He has no use for anybody. I know. But you know what? I think it was handled the right way, well done, very professional on everyone's part. And so I think if we can sit back and understand that, again, as I said earlier, about the pandemic, et cetera, to our friends out there, it's not the end. It's the beginning. Because can you see McIntyre now going after that? It's just going to be
a vengeance.
Absolutely. Orton, leg out. Make sure your head's screwed on tight, because McIntyre is going to take it right off, and he's going to get that belt back.
Well, Johnny, you're not going to believe this, but you and I disagree. Here's the thing, and I'm going to look at it from two different points of view. As someone that enjoys pro wrestling, I like Randy Orton as the champion. But as someone that looks at it from a business point of view, there's just so many things wrong with it, Johnny. It is a company that needs to create new superstars. Randy Orton, as great as he is, since he's been on the active roster in 2002, the only stellar work, his only program that I can think that wasn't excellent or very good were a couple of duds he had with Bray Wyatt, where the chemistry was just a little off at WrestleMania 33 and the Haunted House match they had the next month. But other than that, in an 18-year body of work, it has been excellent. Randy Orton is one of the elite superstars in the history of that company, but again, he's a few months older than me. He's not someone right now that really
90?
He's not really someone that needs that belt. Drew McIntyre, on the other hand, is young. He had a long break from WWE. He got a fresh coat of paint on the independent scene, and he went and worked for TNA Impact. He came back. He's got great size. He's got a great look. They had him absolutely destroy Brock Lesnar. What they had McIntyre do to Lesnar at the Royal Rumble first, and then defeat him in such short order at WrestleMania, they could not have made that man look stronger going in as the champion. As far as the feuds he's had since he became the champion, with such little buildup, I mean, his first pay-per-view opponent was Seth Rollins. What did Seth Rollins do at WrestleMania? He lost a forgettable match to Kevin Owens. Why not have Seth Rollins hot being his first opponent as champion? You know what I mean? Who was his second pay-per-view feud with? Bobby Lashley. What did Bobby Lashley do at WrestleMania? He lost a very forgettable match to Aleister Black, who's gone nowhere in 2020.
I agree with that.
Why not have Lashley be hot, feuding with the new champion, Drew McIntyre? Then they were in such a rut, they brought Dolph Ziggler over from SmackDown for a championship main event on pay-per-view. What has Dolph Ziggler done the past decade as someone that has been put in, you'd probably say, the mid-card at best?
Right.
And I think Dolph Ziggler is fantastic. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the company.
Yep.
WWE just hasn't presented him like that.
Nope.
And then in the summer, it turned into this long vendetta with Randy Orton, and they've done a great job heating up Randy Orton this year. My problem is they should not have let Drew McIntyre be pinned until they had fans back in the building. It's one thing to have social media, it's one thing to have a Thunderdome, but to get that instant reaction from those 5, 10,000, 15,000 fans, however many that might be at a TV taping, and see just how over he is, or maybe how unover he is, to try and generate that through metrics, through numbers, you can't replicate the live event experience. And I think they shot themselves in the foot having that man lose before they had fans in the venue to give them that reaction. And I say that not just as someone that enjoys wrestling, I say that not just as someone that works in wrestling, but I say that as a WWE stockholder. This is a company that needs to groom the future, not 40-year-old superstars that have been there since 2002. Drew McIntyre deserved a real chance to have a big run until it was proven that it was a failure, in my opinion.
But it's not over yet. And so remember one thing.
But you know what?
But what puts asses in seats is storylines. So now we've got this, and I tell you what the third element's going to be. It's going to be Roman Reigns. Reigns is going to kill.
You think he's going to get involved in the Raw side of things?
Rollins, I hate to say this, Rollins is Rollins.
I'm talking about Drew McIntyre. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm saying Drew McIntyre, look at how they're bouncing people around now.
Yeah.
Well,
the draft is over, thank God.
Yeah, but they'll still bounce them around.
Yeah.
If there's ka-ching in the cash register, I mean, a business is business. Let's be real.
No, it's uncreativity.
And you know me, when I thought of Roman Reigns, it's on tape. I have nothing to hide. I was not a fan. I think what they've done with Reigns now is amazing. And if they,
I want to talk about that in a few minutes, but I want to get. I really want to dig deep into this
you know
McIntyre.
what? They're never gonna...
You don't think it would have been better to keep McIntyre strong, undefeated, the hero, until they had a real chance to figure out if he was the guy they could go with for years to come?
Well, I'm going to tell you this.
Winning and losing actually means something. I know in WWE world they don't think it means something, but to the fans at home it does. I'll give you a prime example. Little Marty. You know him. You've met him a couple of times. Big fan. But I remember when Nakamura debuted. And I said, what do you think of him? Because I like to get a kid's feedback, because it's interesting to see what the younger fans think. He goes, oh, he's pretty good. But you know what they're going to do? They're going to turn him bad, and then they're going to give him the U.S. title. And he knew he was going to turn into the proverbial 50-50 guy, which is a perfect example of that is Dolph Ziggler, who we mentioned, a great, outstanding talent, but wins one week, loses the next week, and you never have that real reason to stick to him like glue. I think WWE needs to create talent that you can stick to like glue, and they had a real chance to do that with Drew McIntyre because they booked him to perfection from Royal Rumble through winning that title at WrestleMania. The problem is, again, they didn't have any hot heel challenges for him right after WrestleMania. And now, as great as Randy Orton has been throughout his career, I don't know how you call a 14-time world champion underrated, but I think as far as in-ring performances go, he is underrated as he's one of the best I think that company has ever had. But I still don't think Drew McIntyre should have laid down and taken 3 counts until we had live fans to give you that instant reaction if he's over or if he's not over.
So how many people were in the building when he won at WrestleMania?
None.
Oh, gee. So he won. You had no reaction there, did you?
No.
No. And, well,
that's
then
what
why
I mean.
Make him champion? You kind of go and ask backwards.
Well, okay.
Here.
Well, let me ask you this then. Where they did do a great job at Bill. He got a great reaction at Royal Rumble when he won the Rumble. I was there in
absolutely.
Where was it? Houston, Texas.
Right.
That was
absolutely.
a fun. I saw the Houston Zoo. It was a lot of fun. But my main concern again would be, okay, do you just scrap WrestleMania? I mean, at some point you have to continue with what the flow of the company is.
My point being, you're yelling, complaining.
I'm not yelling.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're preaching.
Am I yelling?
Yeah, no,
I'll
you're doing a
talk
good
softer.
job.
I don't
You're
want
doing
to
a
upset
good
my
job.
niece.
No. What's happening here is you're saying, but why not keep the belt on him? Because they'll never know. Well, wait a second. They didn't know when he won the belt because there was nobody there. Yet, if you go to the wrestling sites, what do you find? 500 comments, 800 comments. The response is there. I like what they did. I think it's a good thing what they did. It gives McIntyre a chance to be bigger and better, so next year, when they start letting bodies back in the buildings, can you imagine the tickets they're going to sell? Let Orton have his day. Let me tell you right now, from me to you, and I hope I'm wrong, there will never be the man, the woman in WWE ever, as Chris Jericho would say. Again, you're not going to have The Rock, the Steve Austins, the CM Punks. You're not going to have those folks, the John Cenas. It just isn't going to happen anymore because of the way the businesses has evolved and changed. So for you to sit there and say, I guess I'm being the bad guy at this point, which I do pretty well. I mean, to sit here and say, well, they've got to have the man. Nobody will ever carry that company again for the length of time that some of these superstars I've talked about with. I will agree with you. They have to create and establish a foundation. The foundation would have been McIntyre for the championship. Lashley came in. Look, let's take Dolph Ziggler. Why won't I put my eggs in a basket with Dolph Ziggler? I think the world of that human being. Great professional athlete. But he can't make up his mind. Am I going to stay? Am I going to go? Am I going to do comedy? You can't do that. Either you live the life you're in and accept it and want to progress forward, or you put yourself in a position where management says, look, I've offered you prime rib and a Cadillac, and you're not sure. You might want a Jaguar. Hold on, brother. Where are you headed with me? But okay, you're an investor. I'm an investor. I'll tell you right now, as much as I think of Ziggler, I would not invest in that because of the uncertainty of my investment. So I look and I say with you, you know what? Orton's probably one of the best heels they have.
Oh, absolutely.
Next to my best friend, and I really mean it. When I first met him, I said, you know what? You probably have one of the best gimmicks in WWE right now. And that has to be Bray Wyatt. I got to tell you something. Wow. Wow.
I love
is all
the
I can
Fiend.
all I can say is wow. If they'd have done what they should have done at WrestleMania and let him beat Taker if somebody had to beat him, and then let Lesnar come back in, that would have been nuts.
To be fair, I didn't like that version of Bray Wyatt as much as I liked The Fiend.
The Fiend. Well, they could have.
The Fiend wasn't around in 2015.
I think he was ready to evolve into that. But you know, look, it happened. It happened. They did what they had to do at WrestleMania, and it went south. Whether they knew about it or didn't know about it, whether it was supposed to happen or didn't happen, there's all kinds of rumors. Only the King of Kings, Vince McMahon, would know.
You were right there, inches from it.
I watched grown men cry, ladies cry, and I'm going, I'm going, oh my God, oh my God. And I saw him, I said, Bill, what do you think? He said, never ever should have ended that streak. Any place but there, but never, ever, ever. And I'm with him. Yeah, the title's got to go at some point, but not there. Not there at that time.
Well, again, going back to McIntyre, look at the ass that Lesnar showed for him. At Royal Rumble, he didn't just eliminate him from the match. Lesnar laid on the floor for minutes.
Right.
I mean, when do you see Brock Lesnar sell like that? Then you go to the WrestleMania match, and he put over McIntyre within just a couple of minutes, almost like it was a squash match. I mean, Lesnar could not have done a better job trying to create a new superstar for him to work with, because
the monster.
I think Heyman and Brock Lesnar are smart enough to know is that there are very few guys that can have a credible match with Brock Lesnar on that roster.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And everybody else they're putting Lesnar up against was a joke.
Right.
Was a joke. Even look, they made their mistake with Braun Strowman.
Yes.
There's another man that could have squashed him in 1 second with one hand. They built this man up, and they went, made a joke out of him. What? Look, I'll call it like I see it, like me or not. But I think the McIntyre thing, I don't think it's as bad as you think it is. I think we need to give him time to let's see how it's going to run, because when and if they start bringing back the live events, this isn't going to die. Unless they have other plans for McIntyre, it's got to be Orton McIntyre. There's nothing better in this world, and in my opinion. You know, when was The Rock, Cena, Austin, when were they really out there? Not when they had it, when they were chasing it. That was really the game. And then when they finally got it.
Well, I'll tell you this, a well-connected friend in Connecticut, who I certainly would not name, has told me that on the docket for WrestleMania 2021, which may be back in Tampa, we'll be talking about that soon enough, but main event will be slated on the board right now to be Randy Orton defending that WWE World Championship against Edge.
Edge?
Edge, not Drew McIntyre.
Well, my sources tell me it's going to be a three-way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not hear.
It's going to be Edge, Orton, and Cena.
I don't like that.
Well, I don't like what you just said either. I don't think that's a WrestleMania match, even though I think Edge is top-notch. I think so much of that young man. I said that before, and I'll say it again. Hard worker, really in the business. Another guy, Orton.
I'd love to see the match. I just don't think it should be the title match.
It won't be a three-way match.
Oh, you're being funny.
I'm just being funny.
All right,
with you.
well.
I don't have any sources like you do.
You got plenty of sources.
No, I don't.
What I'm saying is that I think that'd be a great match. I think it'd be a great revenge match after the injury that Edge suffered earlier this year.
Yes, I would agree.
I just don't think that should be the title match.
I agree with that also. But who knows? Who knows?
Things can change.
Here's what I'm going to say to you.
It is now. It's October right now. A lot can happen between now and April.
I've been in it a long time. You've been in it a long time. And you know what I've seen? The referee put his finger to his ear, and automatically it goes flip, and somebody else wins the match. Or, in this case, we aren't even there yet. So just what's penciled in right now
And that's all it is.
doesn't mean it's going to be.
It's not in ink, it's in pencil, baby.
There you go. That's so the man, the greatest Vince McMahon, turn around and go, see ya.
Well, wrestling fans, I'm going to ask you, what do you think? Do you think that Drew McIntyre should have retained the championship and held on to it to have a real big run with it until maybe fans are allowed back in to say, yes, he is the guy we can go with for the next decade, or maybe we like him, but maybe he shouldn't be the face of the company? Or are you happy that Randy Orton's the champion? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're watching the premiere on Friday night at 10, we have the Super Chat going. Click that to help keep the show rolling, and leave your thoughts on the Drew McIntyre scenario. The second part of the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view I wanted to touch base with you about was the phenomenal, and I mean some of the best work WWE has done this year with this Roman Reigns Jey Uso scenario. I don't know if you had a chance to see the pay-per-view. I know you were traveling last night.
I was.
But just the finish, talk about creative. You know, as usual, the one thing I don't like is when the cage door opens and people are allowed to get in there. But Jay's twin brother Jimmy came in to try and protect the brother. Jimmy is injured right now. And the tribal chief at the head of the table, he didn't want to see his cousin in that ring. He locked that submission in that he made Braun Strowman tap out to on television a couple of weeks ago. And as his twin brother was dying, Jey Uso couldn't get Roman off. So Jey Uso said, I quit. He's out of the Anoa'i family. And then, and I thought was just such a nice nod to history, having Afa and Sika come out to present Roman Reigns with that lei. I think that's what it is.
It was,
yes,
yes, the floral lei.
Yeah. What a nice touch.
Well,
there is talk going around that there may be a Samoan faction built with the Usos apparently maybe bowing down a little bit to Roman, subservient to him once Jimmy is healthy again. But, I mean, Jey Uso, I tip the cap to the man. You talk about a guy that has elevated his status. He's been with the company 10 years now, primarily a tag team wrestler, and instead of sitting on the sidelines while his brother is injured and rehabbing, not just wrestling singles matches, but put in a position to main event a couple of pay-per-views now, and not just main event those pay-per-views, exceptional matches that he's had with Roman, and hopefully the program isn't done, because I've really enjoyed it.
Takes two to make it work.
Absolutely.
Two to make it work.
Absolutely.
And for the first time in WWE, as far as I'm concerned, you know what I thought of Roman Reigns. I was always up front with it. Now, I'll tell you what, it had to be Paul Heyman that thought about this one and Vince McMahon to come up with turning Roman Reigns heel. It's the best thing they ever could have done. And the way that the storyline is being written and interwoven, I got to tell you, Dan, I think for the first time you and I can agree you're on the money.
You know where I think maybe they missed the boat? And of course, you can always play Monday morning quarterback, as they say. But I think the WWE fan base, the diehard fans, the adult males, I think they really still would have taken to Roman as he's presented now as a babyface. If he was just soft-spoken, intense in spurts, ass-kicking, instead of the guy that came out and did the 20-minute monologues that no one really wanted to hear, to give him the fake blue eyes to try and make him more sexy or whatever it was they were trying to do. I thought that was one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen in wrestling, when they tried to change the man's eye color to make him more appealing on television. But the Roman Reigns of, if you go back to Survivor Series 13 at the Garden, Royal Rumble 2014, those fans were exploding. They wanted Roman to get that big push, and then they gave him what I call the Kevin Nash treatment. Back in 1994, Diesel was on fire. He was kicking everybody's ass. He was destroying everybody. They called the audible to put the championship on him and crush Bob Backlund in, I think, 9 seconds at Madison Square Garden. And then all of a sudden he had this badass truck song that he came out to. Then all of a sudden it was a blues song. He came out. He told jokes. He was fan-friendly. And they did along the same thing. They didn't change Roman's theme song, but they gave him the Kevin Nash treatment, is what I call it. And while the kids loved him, the ladies loved him, most adult males didn't love Roman. And now I think they're at a point now where I think more of those type fans will appreciate him. My point is, I think if they used Roman the way they utilized him now and didn't take so much of the Shield Roman when he was a heel away from him, maybe just tweak it to the babyface side instead of completely overhauling the man, it wouldn't have gone that way the past 6 years. One man's opinion.
As far as the Shield goes, Roman was just part of a faction.
Yeah.
The other two carried Roman Reigns. I'll be right up front with you. And
I think he'd admit that.
I think he will, because he's a very smart young man. I think the mistake they made with Roman Reigns was, I don't like roast beef, but I'm going to shove it down your throat anyway. And that's what happened. If they would have done what you suggested, a little bit at a time, and what they should have done, I don't know how you feel, I like it, keep you guessing. He's kind of that tweener. You don't know which side he's going to be on. You never know what day Reigns is going to be a nice guy and an SOB. What they've done now is they've brought him to a point where he belongs. He's got rid of that Shield BS as far as I'm concerned. He's come in. He's a terror. He's dominant. He's the man to beat right now, Randy Orton.
He's the tribal chief
now,
and the head of the table.
Can you see Orton losing the belt to him and it becomes Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns? Too strong.
Well, they're on different brands, though.
Yeah, but I'm telling you something.
All right, this is all right.
Money's money. If you can smell the money, you'll make the change. And the statement's been made. There's no more really brand differential, so to speak, because people bounce back and forth between brands.
Well, at Survivor Series, they usually go head-to-head, so there you go.
So I'm just looking, and I'm saying, I think Reigns has reached a point in his life now where he's on top of the world. But as far as you and everybody else saying, the face of the company, it's never going to happen again. You will never have the face of the company.
You think John Cena was the last face of WWE?
I do. I really do. I really do. And I'm not, let's go backwards instead of forwards. Steve Austin. There's a man that really carried it. The character was fantastic. The fans loved him. The Rock. I mean, let's just take a look at how it was and how it is. You can develop superstars, and they're not doing that anymore. But you'll never develop another face. You'll never get somebody to follow, even in the female division.
Well, that's a different story.
No, but I feel the same way. I don't care whether you're male or female. I don't care what your gender is. The fact of the matter is, you'll never have that. It won't be there. And as far as this is the face of WWE, it's never going to happen again, ever.
I hope that's not the case. I think it makes for a stronger company if you have one.
You won't. You'll have.
Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
That again?
Do you think it's better for the company to have that face of the company, or no?
No.
Really?
Because I think what they will have is a series of superstars that you and I are willing to follow. Maybe one more than the other, but it won't be the longevity that you and I have seen. 12 years, 16 years, maybe a year. And then it'll start to fold itself around. You'll never, ever see what you've seen with a Cena, a Rock, an Austin, a Jericho. You won't see that. It'll never happen.
Well, we respectfully disagree, that's all.
We're friends, but we can disagree.
And you know, you just reminded me of something when you mentioned Jericho. Through the internet rumor mill, I'll throw that out there now, there was another one, I think it was on the Observer site about you recently.
Me?
Yes, that apparently there has been done, I don't know if you want to spill the beans or not on the show, there's been rumors that you are the man that is going to be behind the Inner Circle faction in AEW with Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, LAX, and Jake Hager. Is there any truth to that? Are you AEW bound? You might not want to say it. I can understand that. You seem kind of tight-lipped. Is there validity?
Let's keep them guessing.
Wow. It's going to be a small Inner Circle, I guess.
All I can tell you is this. I don't know what sources you have or what they're drinking, but don't drink the Kool-Aid, as JBL would say.
Just drink the Fabo.
No truth to that.
All right, no truth to that one. All right, well, I think it'd be interesting to see you show up down in Jacksonville, get out of a limousine. I know you and Jericho have known each other.
And I told you Cody Rhodes is the one that came to save me from Randy Orton, and Orton bashed him right into the stairs. Jericho, I've always had a lot of respect for. Listen, AEW, I wouldn't mind. If you need me, I'm here.
Wow. All right, wrestling fans, would you like to see this guy pop up on AEW? What do you think of Roman Reigns? What do you think of Jey Uso? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Or again, on the right side of the screen, we have the little chat going during the premiere Friday nights at 10 o'clock. The super chat is open. Help us keep the lights on. These lights aren't free, baby. And we need more than the Fabo bucks.
I guess I won't get WWE anymore now that I said that. It's over. It's...
You know, usually when you hear chatter like that, it makes them even more interested.
There you go.
So you never know.
Let's keep them. I like this. You know what I like? I like to keep them guessing.
You like to keep them guessing. Don't forget, fans, if you want early, ad-free access to all of our great Wrestling Insider episodes, our studio shoot interview DVD, acclaimed series that we have that has been heard all over the world, even those crazy episodes with the Sheik on the Howard Stern Show. If you want to help keep the wrestling legends working for less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks, head on over to patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. And where the holiday season is here, the merchandise is available, baby. eBay never shuts down. The eBay link to our store is in the description box below if you're watching this on YouTube. And don't forget, last but not least, we have that great WWE T-Shirt fundraiser going on right now, where for the price of a WWE T-shirt on WWE Shop, you get not only the shirt, but you get a WWE cup, you get a mystery autograph photo, and you get an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas, because it is important to me to keep the professional wrestling legends working. When you go 7 or 8 months without being able to earn an income from wrestling matches, wrestling appearances, it is absolutely devastating. And we want to keep these guys in the studio talking and working. So for my frenemy, even though we've been getting along lately, Mr. John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marati. It has been a fabulous Friday. Don't forget, we'll see you Tuesday night at 9 with Tony Atlas, Thursday night at 9 with Marty Jannetty, and we'll be back after SmackDown next Friday night at 10. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours, be well, stay healthy. Good night.